Hi, welcome to National Training Providers Toolbox Talks. This video is one in a series of Toolbox Talks available on our YouTube channel. Have a look at the others in this series along with our other free training videos covering all sorts of informative, interesting and useful information. Click like and subscribe so we can let you know when new videos are uploaded. So in this Toolbox Talk I'm covering the Highway Code. We've all heard of it, but when was the last time you held a physical copy of it in your hands? Probably when you passed your test. Until recently, the most up-to-date version was published back in 2015, so wouldn't show the revisions since, which, although some may be subtle tweaks and rewordings, are quite numerous. Nowadays, there are links on the internet to view the information online, which of course is kept up to date. 2022, there's a new version. So a lot of the rules listed in the Highway Code are legal requirements, which means that if you don't abide by them, you're actually committing a criminal offence, which could lead to fines, penalty points, disqualification, maybe even imprisonment. Other rules are not legally backed, but could be used in court to establish liability under the various traffic acts. Generally, the difference between the two is that rules that state must or must not are legal requirements, whereas rules stating should or should not are advisory. So what about the latest changes then? Road safety charities warned that insufficient publicity was given to the changes in advance of the revised version of the Highway Code, which came into force on the 29th of January 2022. Now, according to the AA, a survey conducted in the days before the new rules came into force, more than 13,700 people, found that 1/3 did not know about the imminent changes, which is a scary amount. But clearly this would not be a valid excuse if they fail to follow the new guidance. Now, 3 new rules have been introduced: H1, H2 and H3. These new rules have influenced the rewriting of some of the numbered rules already written in the Highway Code. So let's have a little look at the changes from January 2022. So, Rule H1, which is the hierarchy of road users. The most significant change is the decision to introduce a hierarchy of road users. This states that in any interaction between users, those who can cause the greatest harm have the greatest responsibility to reduce the danger or threat they pose to others. The Department for Transport points out that the road users most likely to be injured in the event of a collision are pedestrians, in particular children, older adults and disabled people, then followed by cyclists, horse riders and motorcyclists. Now, introducing new Rule H1, the code states that the objective of the hierarchy is not to give priority to pedestrians, cyclists and horse riders in every situation, but rather to ensure a more mutually respectful and considerate culture of safe and effective road use that benefits all users. However, while the DFT makes clear that cyclists, horse riders and horse-drawn vehicles all have a responsibility to reduce danger to pedestrians, the hierarchy principle puts most responsibility on the drivers of large goods and passenger vehicles, followed then by vans, minibuses, cars, taxis and motorcycles. Now, previously the Highway Code treated everyone as if they were equally responsible for their own and other people's safety, whether it was a child walking to school or the driver of a lorry. Now the balance is weighted towards those that can cause the greatest harm, which does mean you and your HGV. Now, Rule H2, Pedestrian Priority. The second major change to the code aims to clarify existing rules on pedestrian priority on pavements and to emphasise that drivers and riders should give way to pedestrians crossing or waiting to cross the road. The new Rule H2 will create clearer and stronger priorities for pedestrians, particularly at junctions, and clarify where they have the right of way. It will introduce a responsibility for drivers and riders to give way to pedestrians waiting to cross a side road, a junction or a zebra crossing. Also, pedestrians are reminded that they share some routes with cyclists and horse riders, and whilst these riders should respect the safety of pedestrians, those on foot must also take care not to obstruct those other road users unnecessarily. Which brings us on to Rule H3, Guidance for Cyclists. The code now places a requirement on drivers to give priority to cyclists when they're turning into or out of a junction or changing direction or lane, just as they would to other motor vehicles. There's a sizable increase in the Rules for Cyclists chapter within the code. Rule H3 now tells cyclists that if they are going straight ahead at a junction, they have the priority over traffic waiting to turn into or out of the side road unless road signs or markings indicate otherwise. Cyclists are also reminded of the need to be particularly careful alongside lorries and other long vehicles, as they may not be visible to the drivers. Such vehicles may have to move over to the right before turning left, and the rear wheels may then come very close to the curb while turning. So cyclists should ride in the single file when drivers wish to overtake, and it's safe to let them do so. When riding in larger groups on narrow lanes, it recognises that it's sometimes safer to ride two abreast, taking care when passing parked vehicles, leaving enough room, sort of a door's width or half a metre, to avoid being hit if a door opens unexpectedly. And they have a responsibility to make sure it's safe before moving away from the curb, when pulling out to pass stationary vehicles, or when turning at junctions or stopping. The code actually states that when the traffic lights are red, you may cross the first stop line, but you must not cross the final stop line. Now, one part of the consultation which produced a mixed response was passing distances when overtaking motorcyclists, cyclists, horse riders and horse-drawn vehicles. The indicated 2 metres in the consultation was viewed by many respondents as being too large a gap for overtaking cyclists or horse riders, and would prevent drivers from overtaking on many country roads, leading to frustration and inevitable non-compliance. Now, on the flip side, feedback also suggested that 2 metres is not a sufficient passing distance, and space should be allowed in case a cyclist were to fall. So generally it was thought that the rule is too complicated, and a safe passing distance of 2 metres in all cases would avoid confusion. Now, for Rule 163, it was decided that drivers should leave a distance of at least 1.5 metres when overtaking cyclists at speeds up to 30 miles an hour, and more space at higher speeds, and that at least 2 metres of space is given when passing horse riders and horse-drawn vehicles, making sure that you keep below 10 miles per hour when passing. At least 2 metres of space must be given when passing a pedestrian who's walking in a road where there's no pavement, for example. So this brings us on to horse riders. As an example of the way the code makes plain everybody's responsibility for safety on the roads, the Rules About Animals chapter has been updated to suggest that those new to horse riding or those who have not ridden for a while should consider a training course and taking the Ride Safety Award from the British Horse Society. In the consultation, there was some objection to this proposal, with some respondents arguing that it discriminates against horse riders by putting the onus on them to take training when it's other road users that are the problem and the cause of the accidents. Now, those who disagreed with the change were concerned that a lack of training might be used as a driver's defence in the event of collisions, or used unfavourably in any insurance claim. Particularly as horses can be unpredictable, and no matter what the training is, it's not going to prevent that. Now, bear in mind, these changes are not new legislation. The Department for Transport have emphasised that the changes are advisory and not legislative. It's stated that the new rule to give priority to cyclists going straight ahead does not seek to change the law, but rather to ensure a more mutually respectful and considerate culture of safe and effective road use that benefits all users. You should not cut across a cyclist, just like you wouldn't cut across any other motorist. Now, prior to recording the video, there has been a further change to the Highway Code. This update concerns Rule 149, which clarifies the ban on using handheld interactive communication devices when driving. Now, details of this can be found separately in our Toolbox talk on mobile phones. Hopefully, this makes the importance of the Highway Code clearer and helps you get your head around the latest revisions. Thanks for watching this Toolbox talk on the Highway Code. Don't forget, click like and subscribe so we can let you know when new videos are uploaded, and check out our other free training videos, including more Toolbox talks and interesting, informative and useful videos. Thanks a lot. See you soon.